The first of 7 hierarchy hacks that you need to know as a graphic designer goes like this. So we have a nice blank canvas, and let's add in some buildings right here. Now, according to basic hierarchy, bigger objects are noticed first and thus more important. And yes, if we add in some text here, that is true. But here, there is a cool hierarchy-based trick at play. So when you have your most dominant visual assets, you can sometimes use leading lines to point to the next important visual asset. As you can see, these buildings pointing right up to the text. And then here on this design, the depth of field lines draw the viewer right into the secondary hierarchy asset. Here's a new design to show you the second hierarchy hack. It's currently aligned centrally and it's not a terrible design as such, but we can deploy a hierarchy technique to help improve this design. The F pattern works because naturally a lot of people read books from left to right, and so we can actually command hierarchy from the top left over to the right, and then to follow the F pattern completely. The F pattern here also created some white space in the far right, and this is where the main CTA can go. And by the way, these hierarchy hacks and tips are to be used in certain situations. Obviously, not all 7 are going to work on every single design all the time. But the third tip is another pattern. It uses the same logic as the F pattern, but the Z pattern expects the viewer to start in the top left, move over to the right, and then diagonally down and then back over to the right again. By arranging key elements along this path, such as headlines, images, and call to action buttons, designers can ensure the important information is noticed and absorbed efficiently, which is hierarchy. Tip or hack number 4 brings us to a quick business card design. Now it doesn't look too shabby, but the typography on the back lacks hierarchy. The tip here is that you should remember that hierarchy of typography is super important, and often it can completely make or break a design. Here we used hierarchy of color and size, and we kept the alignment to the left. And then this design is slightly different again. I think I prefer the former. But yeah, always bring hierarchy to your text. Hack number 5 is a great one to keep in the back of your mind. If in doubt, think of hierarchy in terms of 3 layers of importance. So here we have the main focal point as 1, the secondary section of hierarchy as 2, and then the third one here. We can also break down the single page into its own 3 layers of importance. When you think about hierarchy in these 3 layers, you start to see it in a lot of designs pretty much everywhere. And you can see that here on these Pinterest ads. Hierarchy tip number 6 is simple, and that is don't forget color. On this poster, the moon is totally unique in color from anything else. It's the focal point. And then the first moon word is orange, which then we naturally move downwards to the bottom section where there's more orange. Hierarchy of color is a great way to guide your viewers and also organize a design. The 7th hierarchy tip is the rule of odds. This illustration has 5 objects, the focal point the largest, and 5 is an odd number. But if you drop down to 4 objects, the composition then becomes a lot more difficult to make appear visually appealing. Even if we make a different layout, things just don't look as good as having an odd number of objects. This rule works really well with a single dominant object of hierarchy. But if you'd like to learn more about graphic design principles and maybe some longer form content, just click that video on screen. But until next time guys, design your future today. Peace.